am going to, yeah, here we go. And then just move this up, and here we go. So this is our stand. We looked at this last night. And what you'll notice, if you can see, is we had to do some things a little different to actually implement it. What we had to do is, let's bring it where I can look at it. We had to, in some cases, add the type of storage it is. So remember, you have 3 types of storage in Solidity. And let me see if I can pull that up, because I had to look it up. Let's see, this may be in here. Okay. Bring this up. See if this is an example. What I want, here we go. So we got 3 types of variables. They can be declared as storage, which means it's something stored on the blockchain. Memory, it exists when it's being called. And call data that contains function arguments that I didn't use this one. That's only available for external functions. So in this case, what I did is let's make sure you can see it. So what I did is I made the strings memory. I kind of looked at some other examples to make sure. The other thing is, with interfaces, everything's defined as external. Sometimes you don't need to, you can just leave it, particularly with the integers. I found it really needed it for strings. And you do have to define all these functions as external, because they're going to be called by an external, a separate, file, a separate the class. And that was one thing I had to do. Let's see what else. Mainly it was the external, and in some cases it required that I give it a type of variable for it to take it. Now it doesn't, I'm looking, storage, it does not say here which is the default. So in this case, the example that they provide, they use it mainly, yeah, they use it in a number of, actually both in the input and the output. So if you're inputting, but you notice everything that's being input there is either an address or is it a integer. So it seems to be okay without defining it as memory or storage. So this is not going to, this is not going to return directly from, or it's going to return a memory variable. The other thing I did not do, and we may find when we implement, we need to, is I didn't define anything as pure or anything like that. I did use views, which they do here, and I followed along with what they had. But this, in defining an interface, this wasn't enough, and it wasn't enough also because it needed memory. So now we have our methods all defined, and what we're going to do in the next video is we're going to start making the actual contract. We're going to import this and use this. and make the actual coin contract, which I'm calling Chuck Coin after my little dog, is I am going to, it's going to use this it's going to be based off of this. So let me see if I can show. Yeah, here's an example. Let me bring it up and see if you can see it. You can see it right here, where you have a contract, and then you have a derived contract. So contract E is C. And this is another way we could have done it. You can have like a base coin actual contract where you define your methods. Or you can have the interface and then define our contract, derive our contract from it, or implement, actually implementing the interface. This is deriving it. So it's a little bit different because in the derived contract, if we don't define a method, it's going to just use the one in the base contract. So if we don't define a method in contract E, then it's just going to use the one from contract C. You doing an interface, we cannot do that. We have to define every method, and that's one of the things that using an interface does, is it requires us to define every method and not leave anything out. So hopefully this has not been very long, but hopefully it's been helpful. And this is just the start. I have it all set up with guests, and I'm also saving it to my local drive here. Remember, that's kind of what I recommend for if you're using Remix. This way you know where it is, and you're accessing from a known place. You can also then go to that drive and then put it up in GitHub and protect it that way. So, again, hopefully this has been helpful. If it has, please give a like. Please subscribe, ring the bell, share with your friends who might be interested, because we're gonna make ourselves a little coin here. And this is the start. Then we write the contract class, and that will produce our coin, and then we can put it on our little ganache chain and see what happens. So anyway, again, hopefully it's been helpful, and I will speak to you next time.